Good morning, everyone. Just another video to show you the progress we've made on the car so far. Mercedes SEC 500. As you can see, I've still got a bit of cleaning up to do, but we're making some progress. I've managed to finish the detailing on the camshafts. What I mean by that is, from previous videos, you saw me super finish or lap the surfaces of the lobes, the noses, the base circle being that, your ramp events being these, and then your nose, the cam nose or node are those, and you can see how nice and shiny they are. So what I did was I cleaned it up with 1000 grit paper and film, and then I finished it off with 3000 with a hard block. So I blocked it, but with the cushioning, so it didn't damage or cause witness marks. And what the blocking does is it allows you to get a flatness and to maintain the geometry, but it eradicates any of the witness marks that were there from corrosion before. And then when you polish, it does the same thing, but you polish with a softer texture, so you're really just shining it up. And just like anything, there's less friction, so there's less NVH, less noise, vibration, and harshness. Now we've done that to the lifters, and I've done it to the camshafts and the bearing races as well. So all this bearing towers have been cleaned out, and my God, there was a lot of junk in there. Having done that, on these models, you'll find that I've removed the false firewalls. That's to gain access to the back bolts over there. You can see they're quite far in and hidden down. So you need to be able to access there. A UV joint, half-inch drive, M10 bolts, N10 socket, Allen socket does the trick, getting those off and in. Cleaned the bolts as well, oiled everything. And what I did was I dipped my Castrol down each of those holes and along all the races and on all the followers, so that there's already oil in there. Okay, so nothing is dry. Then I put them back in, and then what you do is you restore the bolts softly by just positioning. Easier said than done, because the lifters are quite high up already, so any of the cams touching won't allow you to really rest them on. But I managed to get the bolts in, and then I tightened down from the center out, across and out, and across and out. And then eventually I just started working my way across and across until they were all firmly down. I'm yet to torque them in still. And just by the by, on these M117 engines, and I believe it's for all of this family of engine, M116, M117, you have torque settings of 25 Newton meters for anything going into the cylinder block from this aluminium piece, 60 Newton meters for anything in the cylinder head torque setting, plus 90 degrees rotation, so 60 Newton meter plus 90 degrees twist on your socket, on your torque wrench. Where's my torque wrench? Right. And then you have on the bearing houses, on the bearing towers, your torque settings are 50 Newton meters for these Allen bolts. Right, so that clears that up. And you'll find this on the Benz forums as well. So what did I do? I had to change the timing chain. Well, as you can see, the new guides are in. This guide, the thrust guide, to locate it, it's just a matter of look and feel. I slid it inside, put a vice grip on the edge so that it wouldn't fall in. Can't really fall in, but just to be sure. That cap was open. I located it visually through the radiator area till I could see the hole was clear, and then I polished up the sleeve, put some oil on it, and I slid it in, and it went in really nicely. So that's firmly fixed now. When I finished that one, I did this one next, which is the shorter one of the set. On this side of the engine, you've got the thrust piece, a shorter thrust timing guide, and this just takes a drift punch to knock in, by the way. You're going to have to hammer them in, but a nice drift punch, see if I can find a sample for you, is a very good model to use to drive those pins back in. On this side, the two timing guides are exactly the same shape. They are the long variety. They're both these ones here. And you'll notice that one of mine's broken. So those ones that go in. This is the short one that goes in over there, right? So these guys, the shortest point being on top, as you can see, and then that one is the same, but it's just the other way around. And again, you've got to drive this in with a hammer and a punch to get them in and done. Once that was in, I then had to cut the old chain, which you can see hanging down there. I had to cut the link off on the top of this, and then I I had to cut my Febby chain as well, and cut my Febby chain, and I've got my new master link, which is now firmly in place. That's the old link. Hang on, that's the old worn out links. Joined them up, and with the crank pulley and all the spark plugs are out. So there's my spark plugs. They're waiting to be cleaned. It's very easy to turn the engine over, as everybody knows. Turning clockwise to wind the chain through over here. You'll notice that like other people, I've used cable ties to hold the position on the cam line. You don't have to do it that side because that's already fully tensioned. Do it this side because that's your reference. Now, yes, I did have my timing set up. You can see there's like red mark there and the timing mark over here. But the timing mark is irregular. It only works with this notch on this washer. There's no other reference on this camshaft except the key, the Woodruff key, which the sprocket goes onto, and the spacer and that washer with the notch on. So when you line everything up, you typically try to line it up with this timing mark over here, and cylinder 1 being on top dead center, as you can see it is there right now, and the mark should reference as such down there. And from there I cut the chain and then pulled through. But I'm in a little bit of a different game to what other people do, where they don't change camshafts out or anything. It's very important for them to just keep the timing as it was. So they use this process where you wind your crankshaft through, right, and then you just remove those cable ties every time you're winding through, okay? Because why? The valves can jump up and they push against the cams and it jumps the cam, which means it then jumps the chain on the teeth. Now, that happened to me once before because my cable ties were too loose. But for me, it's a little bit different because I had to take the camshafts out. I invariably lost my timing. So all I've had to do now is get it as close to as possible where I was. And I'm not finished with that yet. I think once my cam timing changes through, I've only got a yard left. I'm going to have to then adjust this timing again. So there's a possibility that I'm going to have to line it up with this one first. Line this one up. Rotate the engine to top dead center again. Line that up. And then that one last. When that one's done, I'm going to then close the chain up with the new link so it's finished. That's my plan, and I hope it works through. Because on the new master link, it's got little circlips which hold the end piece in. So I can remove it and I can put it back. So you don't need to buy an extra set when you buy this Febby kit. You only need one master link set for this Febby kit. And so there we are. I'll follow on with another video soon about that. Thank you.